Streaming. Let's see if my sound works.
And we
We are streaming. Hello. Welcome to Hollywoke Hot Take Live. A little early. I like to get started early. Why people file in here if you've never been here before. Even beat Ardent to this session. This sesh. So, what went on this week? Well, it was a pretty interesting week. Let's see. I shot a new segment for that show. I don't know if you saw the show. I think I pimped it back when it happened. There's a Philadelphia show called Weekend Filler, PH. And I was featured on two segments on that show. One about the Pineys and one about the Jersey Devil origins. And that went really well. It looked great. And so we shot that. We were supposed to shoot that on Wednesday. We actually shot that today. So I'll be pimping that sometime in the future. What? I gave you a treat just so you'd sit there and be cool. But you're not cool, John. That's the problem. It's always been your problem. You're not cool. You're just a dog. Friday, once again, I was supposed to do Unexpected Farm. Unexpected. And that's the alpaca farm off of Piney Hollow Road in Newfield, I think it's called. It kind of has no town there. It's kind of funny. It's actually Unexpected Farm, New Jersey, technically, I think. But we kind of got, well, it was just rainy. I didn't want to go in the rain with the books. It's too many books now for me to go out in the rain. And then Saturday, though, I did the Williamstown Craft Fair, which was pretty bonkers. Pretty damn busy. I got there super early, though, because I thought I would get a better table. I never remember which shows. Some shows are first come, first serve. Oh, there's Arden. Hey, what are you doing starting early? This is against the streamer's code of conduct. Everyone knows you set a start time and miss it by 5 minutes. Come on, man. I know. I wanted to beat you here, Arden. For once, I wanted to be the first one on my own stream. So I went to the Williamstown Craft Fair, and it was just hopping all day. And got super lucky with a parking space, so I got out of there relatively quickly. And then, this is kind of an announcement if you're local. I finally got into one of the local bookstores, Ardent, LOL, which I'd been talking back and forth. I talked to a lot of bookstores. Bookstores are surprisingly hard to get in if you have books. I know, it's a weird thing. They are, in their defense, they are put upon by a lot of local authors. There's just so many local authors here, and I'm sure all around the country. But we had been talking off and on for probably the past 2 years. And for one reason or another, we just couldn't organize our schedules or whatever. But I'm happy to say that Words Matter bookstore in Pitman, New Jersey is now carrying the Pineys. So she ordered a bunch of books. I sold out of 2 of them at Williamstown. So I didn't have 13 and 16 to give her. I just ordered a bunch today. And so I'm waiting for those to come in. Hopefully I get them in about 10 days. And I'm also in a bookstore in Cape May now. And the books are arriving tomorrow. I just had Amazon just ship her the books. It's called The Whale's Tale. And that's in Cape May. So 2 bookstores. That's big progress for me. Bookstores are a tough nut to crack, man. There's a couple other bookstores I've been talking to for 2 or 3 years. And, they're not unfriendly, but they think they're good old time arranging things. You know, it's tough, man. And like in their defense, they are busy. It's a very tough business, especially now. Um, but you know, it's just funny how it's so hard to get into a bookstore. It's so hard to get into really any store. You know what? Another store I'm trying to get into. I'm trying to get into a store in a place called Smithville. Now, for those of you who don't know Smithville, Smithville is right across from Leeds Point, where the Jersey Devil was born, and it's a big uh, village slash colonial village, kind of a tourist trap. With all the town's buildings have been turned to little shops. So there's like, you know, a hot sauce shop and a beef jerky shop and shops for little clothes and knickknacks, and a bunch of the stores carry Jersey Devil merchandise. They'll carry like a bumper sticker or like a T-shirt or something. Not a lot, because they have a kind of a weird thing about the Jersey Devil in Smithville, and because I've said for years they should run a tour to the Jersey Devil house, or the one that they think is the house, and then tell people the story and charge them, I don't know, charge them like $20 or whatever. I'm sure a lot of tourists would go and they would make money, but they don't want, you know, you could have a guy in a suit and sell merchandise. No one wants to do it. No one wants to do it. But I thought if I ever had the extra money, I would open a store in Smithville and just call it, you know, something like Jersey Devil Store or whatever, and sell nothing but Jersey Devil stuff. And I think it would be a big hit down there. I really do. But yeah, not right. Unfortunately, not right now. So, anywho, let's get into it, Little Joan. Now, are you going to sit in the stream, or are you going to be a jerk? You know, you want this. Okay. You want pets. Ardent, Jersey Devil beef jerky should sell. Definitely a name begging for spicy flavors. Yes. Yes. Really, there's so many different things that are named after the Jersey Devil down here. That would be, you know, finding product would actually be the easy part. You know? There are guys who do various Jersey Devil food things. So you could just collect them all and then add a few new ones, and, you know, add the T-shirts. Mostly, I think it would be mostly T-shirts, hats, and, you know, you could sell devil horns, or you could sell Jersey Devil hockey team stuff if you really wanted to go whole hog. But I can't believe no one's done it already. That's what I can't believe. And then you could sell my books, of course. I would have my books in there. Especially if I ran the damn store, it'd be the first thing you see in the store. What is this, a bookstore? And I'd sell the other Jersey Devil books too, because they would all sell as well. I mean, no one's selling those books really in a storefront. So it would be nuts. JEC is here. Hi, hi, hi. Welcome, JEC. Welcome. All right, Joan, this is becoming inconvenient. So I need my hands to do things, so to speak. That's what she said. Arden says, hey, IEC. I think he means hi, JEC. But weird stuff, at 7:02. We can start now. Weird stuff, Indie Phantom says, hello, wokies. Oh, we're wokies now? Why are we wokies? Or did you mean Wookiees? I did kind of shave today. There is nothing going on in the box office today. I mean, like, nada. So, number one movie is Thunderbolts, apostrophe, which I guess they're trying to call the new Avengers. It only dropped by 55%, which wasn't too bad of a drop, but it's still not great. It's still 55% drop. That's not good. It's not a complete and utter disaster, but that's not good. The rumor is this thing has to make somewhere between $400 and $800 million to break even. It's at 272, and I think it's done. I mean, it's at 33. So next week, maybe a squeak out 17. Is that, am I doing that math right? Yeah, like 16, 17. Indie Phantom, Hollywokies. Oh, that's clever. I like Hollywokies. Let's all call ourselves Hollywokies. Ardent, Indie Phantom, I reject your reality and substitute my own. I am a meat popsicle. I'm not sure where you're going with that, Ardent, but Godspeed. Carter Chain is here. Hello. So 272 million worldwide. You gotta figure it needs at least another 128 million to break even. Next week, it might do, say, 30 million worldwide, then 15, then 7, then 3, and then 1. That's not enough. It's not enough. Carter, Joan is looking very cute this evening. Oh, that's, you got a compliment, Joan. You got a compliment. She's very happy. See? Are you comfy? I'm kind of hot. You're kind of hot to have sit here. The little hot water bottle. So yeah, I don't think this thing's going to crack 400, or it might. No, I don't think it's going to make it. I think it hovers probably about 380 worldwide. I mean, it did a little better internationally, but that's not saying much. Did it air in China? It did go to China. 10 million. Doesn't seem like a lot considering the Chinese box office is crazy. You know? They got $1 billion franchise now. They don't need Disney. So this doesn't bode well for the Fantastic Four. I mean, you could argue that Pedro Pascal's box office might bring some people in, but what movie has he been in that did like gangbusters? I'm trying to think. Let's look at stupid Pedro Pascal's IMDb page. Pedro Pascal. Let's see. What would be the highest grossing film he was in? There he is in The Last of Us. Gladiator 2? That didn't do great. The Wild Robot? Not really his movie. Indie Phantom. In Grindhouse, the Tarantino segment starts with the title card, Thunderbolt, which switches to Death Proof. Drive Away Dolls, Freaky Tales, none of these. The Mandalorian, that's on TV, so that's not a big deal. Book of Boba Fett, also on TV, not even real TV. Wonder Woman 1984, that didn't do well. Ardent, Pascal's biggest thing has been Game of Thrones, and it's been a slide since. Indie Phantom, Disney tried switching Thunderbolts to the New Avengers, failed. Yeah, I didn't really get that move. Nikita, Homeland, yeah, it's Game of Thrones. Graceland. Wonder Woman, a TV movie. It was 2011? He was in another Wonder Woman thing. Huh, had no idea. It's weird. Law and Order, I mean, this is nothing. He has no credits. He's not an A-lister, but yet he is. So weird. They're putting him in everything, and he's known for nothing. He's known for not being famous enough to carry a movie. Indie Phantom, I have added Pascal to my no-fly zone. For a second, I thought you wrote no-no zone. Yeah, it's... Why are they putting this guy in everything? Does he have pictures on somebody? Indie Phantom didn't watch Game of Thrones or Mandalorian. He was good in Game of Thrones, but that was forever ago, and he gets killed. Spoilers. And like he's not in it very long. Like him and Jason Momoa, and Jason Momoa didn't even have one word in English. He wasn't in that many episodes, but that's what he's famous for. God, that show made a lot of careers. Ardent, was that the Wonder Woman with the chick who played Mockingbird in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I'm not sure. Let's go back and look. Yeah, right? Don't you throw up on me, Joan. I'll be so pissed if you throw up on me. That'll get you right to the floor. Where the hell is it now? It's 2011. Well, there's Burn Notice. I liked Burn Notice. I know, I'm one of the few, but it had Bruce Campbell in it, so I was going to watch it, damn it. All right, here's the Wonder Woman movie. So, that's her, the Wonder Woman. There's Pedro Pascal. He was one of the leads, I guess. Carrie Elwes? Yules? Deanna Prince. Okay, this was Deanna Prince. Adrian Palicki. Cute in that. Let's see what else she was in. Not a lot. Oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's Bobby Morse. Marvel's Most Wanted. The Orville. And that's about it. Yeah, so I guess... Is Robbie Morse Mockingbird? I don't think so. Indie Phantom, I heard something about PP getting cast because he nearly passes for white, yet checks diversity boxes. I guess, but... I mean, he can't... He's never proven... Normally they put a guy in who's carried a movie before, right? Or at least was close to it. Like, he's had a few chances. I think he's just at the right agency, quite frankly. Ardent, yep, Palaki was in AOS. Indie Phantom, she is hot from Friday Night Lights. Oh, okay. She is pretty cute. All right, Joan, you're too hot. I'm going to put you over here, or you want to get down? Okay. Joan's gone. She likes it on the floor. It's cooler down there, especially now. And speaking of... I got the fan rolling. Ah, that's nice. So, yeah, let's see. Do we have any good pictures of her? I mean, that's a pretty good picture of her. She's got a great face. Ardent, neither 11 Wonder Woman nor Most Wanted got released. And yes, Bobby Morse was Mockingbird in the comics, even had the paired batons in the show. Oh. Mockingbird. Oh, I'm trying to remember that character. So forgettable some of the DC characters are. That's DC, right? Mockingbird. All right. So Thunderbolts is just about cooked. I think it squeaks to about 380. Maybe just hits 400 if they keep it in theaters like 6 weeks. 8 weeks. Sinners is number 2 again. 21 million. That's not bad. It's not bad for his 4th week. Ardent, Hawkeye's girlfriend, Marvel. Oh. So he was dating Hawkeye? I don't remember that. I think I'm confusing her with Black Canary, I guess. Yeah, I want to see this Sinners movie. I got to get out and see it. Or I'll just wait until it, I don't know. It's Warner Brothers. I'll wait till it hits Max probably, but it's doing well. at least in the States, 283 million on a budget of 90. So, Indie Phantom, Jesse Plemons played her boyfriend on Friday Night Lights, an unlikely pair. Ardent, she was a West Coast Avenger. God, I read West Coast Adventures too, and I still don't remember that character. That was a short run book. They should have done that, by the way, instead of Thunderbolts. They should have done West Coast Avengers, because they could have done a whole LA thing, right? That was kind of the point of the comic. But Hollywood loves to do stuff in their own backyard. You could explain all the fires in LA. Oh yeah, Iron Man set off another forest fire, everybody. Ardent, the chick with the pointy black mask and catsuit. Huh. But I bet you they didn't want to shoot in LA. They used to love shooting in LA because it was just there. But now, in Indie Phantom, sinners build as a more racially charged From Dusk Till Dawn and longer. People cream over a certain sequence that shifts the tone. Okay. Interesting. Racially charged From Dusk Till Dawn. I kind of don't like that, but what I did like is I watched Havoc with Tom Hardy last night. I just reviewed it. Oh, that was good. That was some fun stuff in Havoc. That's what I like in my movies. Oh, crazy violence. Number 3 is a Minecraft movie. So, this one's at $908 million. Oh, they could just taste $1 billion. There ain't no way. Ain't no way this gets to $1 billion. Maybe on DVD if they put out some sort of special Minecraft game insert or whatever with a DVD or something. I mean, it's still at 7.9 million after 6 weeks. That's pretty good. But I can't imagine it stays much longer after 6 weeks. I mean, it'll probably go like 12 weeks, but there's just nothing out other than Sinners, I guess. Ardent, oh well, that'll draw me in. More racially charged. Ugh. Indie Phantom, yeah, Havoc looks hot. It's the guy who did the Raid Redemption. Oh man, it was bonkers. It was just bonkers. The opening sequence is just crazy. Ardent, Christmas re-release would put Minecraft over the $1 billion. Christmas re-release. Yeah, I guess they could do that. The timing seems right. But that makes sense, though. You know, the funny thing is, since they're trying to make it like a, like a vent thing, you go and, it's almost like they're trying to do like a Rocky Horror thing. It seems like the re-release should be in the summer. Indie Phantom, are people still bringing live chickens to Minecraft? They're bringing chickens? Like actual chickens? I thought they were bringing outfits. I thought they were like dressing up as the chicken jockey and throwing popcorn. Ardent, the action in Raid 2 was kick-ass. I know. Guy's good. Indie Phantom, I am only seeing my messages for some reason. Oh, that's weird. I'm seeing everybody's messages. Ardent, Indie Phantom, refresh and hit live chat after. Yeah, that might do it. So I don't know, man. $100 million. I mean, it'll definitely get to like 940. No problem. That other 60 million, man, that's a long run. But maybe on a re-release. Yeah, I guess I could see it. I don't know if the Christmas would be the right re-release. That's Warner Brothers too. LeMay is here. Hi. Ardent, YT has been improved recently. Ardent says, hey, LeMay. Indie Phantom, thanks, Ardent. It worked. Oh, good. Good. 4 is The Accountant 2. So this is like the list from last week. Almost exactly the same. 6 million. That's in its third week. That's not bad for the third week, I guess. Although, I don't think this made a ton of money here. 76 million on a budget of 80 million. Yeah, it's going to make its budget back. Not much more. All right, getting into the new movies. I don't know why they thought this movie would be a thing, but number 5 is Clown in a Cornfield. And that's exactly what it's about. And it looks about as stupid as you would imagine. It's a murderous clown. It's like a weird sort of low-budget version of It. 3.6 million. So, enjoy that, I guess. Number 6 is Shadow Force. Did I watch the trailer for this? I think I did. Yeah, looks like a generic actioner. Kyra and Isaac were once the leaders of a multinationalist special forces group called Shadow Force. They broke the rules by falling in love, and in order to protect their son, they go underground, with a large bounty on their heads and a vengeful Shadow Force hot on their tail. One family's fight becomes an all-out war. Rated R for adult situations. Ardent, Clown in a Cornfield. Jimmy Carter biopic? No, that would be Clown in a Peanut Farm. He was a peanut farmer. This Shadow Force looked pretty generic, but I'm surprised it's at number 6. That's pretty good for a movie that looks so kind of bland, but I'm pretty numb to violence if you know anything about the stuff I watch. Indie Phantom. I watched Pizza Man with Bill Maher last week. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? It is a 1991 dark noir comedy where the big bad ends up being Donald Trump. Needs to be seen to be believed. Also had a Pizzagate kind of plot. Oh my. I don't remember it, but I did start watching it, and I thought it was so bad I just turned it off. But I remember seeing Bill Maher in it and going, God, this guy can't act for anything. Indie Phantom, Clown in a Cornfield, based on an actual novel of some critical hype. I know, but it looks stupid to me. I mean, everybody's mad at me because I criticized Stephen King's The Long Walk. I think it looks stupid. I mean, everybody's like, oh, I love that novel. It's my favorite novel. How dare you? People like defend it because they love it. You can love the novel. I don't care. But the movie looks stupid. Some things are better in your head than actual seeing them live. And sometimes it's just the execution of it. And I'll tell you why I hated The Long Walk trailer. Because The Long Walk, for those of you who don't know, predates The Hunger Games, but it's kind of his version of The Hunger Games, right? So it was his first full-length novel, apparently. Some Redditor over at X gave me all this info in my comments. Thank you to him. I didn't ask for it, but looks like it came in handy. So he wrote it after the Vietnam War as a response to the Vietnam War, allegedly, and then it's an allegory for life, right? So the premise is it's an alternate universe in which there's a contest, and you can voluntarily join the contest. In the book, you have to be 13 to 18. In the movie, they changed it from 18 to 25. And basically they pick 100 people, although in the movie they only pick 50, and they have to walk, and then they videotape it or air it on TV, and then you have to keep the pace. In the book it's 4 miles an hour. In the movie it's 3 miles an hour. If you go too slow, or if you can't keep walking, or if you get too many warnings, they shoot you. And the contest ends when there's only one man standing. So the problem I have with the trailer is it opens up like the characters in the long walk don't know they're in the long walk. Like they're just out for a walk, or something. That they're in something. And then, like, at first, it's like a happy-go-lucky kind of vibe. And then in the trailer, they shoot the first kid. He gets a leg cramp, and he can't get up. And then they shoot him. And then the whole thing turns dark, and everybody looks surprised like they didn't know that was going to happen. That's exactly what they would have known was going to happen. And then apparently part of the book is they help each other along the way, which kind of doesn't make sense to me, because if you signed up for this, you know that it's only the last man standing that wins. Everybody else dies. I don't know why anybody would sign up for this, but they tell me that in the novel, everybody's poor. It's the only way out of poverty, blah, blah, blah. And the winners, I guess, become big celebrities and whatnot. And they get literally anything they want, apparently. So I guess I just feel like it's really stupid, or at least the trailer was stupid, because I feel like if they actually did that, some of those guys would be all about their shoes and the walk and beating everybody else. They wouldn't be as friendly as they start out in the movie, I guess, or start out in the trailer. Now, you could say, oh, yeah, maybe towards the end they bond and then they don't want each other to die, but they're all going to die except one guy. Doesn't make any sense to me why you would sign up for this unless, number one, you had to, and number two, like, they were going to shoot you anyway and this was your one chance to survive. Something like that. I don't know. And then everybody was like, well, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for life. I'm like, okay. It just doesn't jibe with me, but you could like it. So anyhow, everybody apparently loves that novel. JC at Indie Phantom. Are you a fan of the 1 effing hour podcast? Indie Phantom JC, yes, that's where I watched it. Oh, weird. JC, nice. I've been watching since they started the show. I was a fan of Evan's previous podcast, Power Comics. Indie Phantom, was The Long Walk a Bachman book? Apparently it was his first book. First full novel. Arnett, Long Walk was a decent story, but I thought it was one of the Bachman stories from King. Indie Phantom, cool. JEC, I hadn't heard of that podcast. They cover flicks I enjoy and off the beaten path. JC at Indie Phantom, yes, they're doing a Clockwork Orange next, which is my favorite movie. That is a good movie. I like a Clockwork Orange a lot too. I got to see it on the screen in college. They were showing it, like, we used to have like second run movies or classic movies or cult movies, and that was one of the movies, so it was nice to see it on the screen. What may or may not be nice to see on the screen is Fight or Flight from Vertical Entertainment. This looks like a generic actioner with Josh Hartnett. Looks okay. It's one of those, like, everybody on the plane is an assassin movies, except it's on a plane instead of a train. Like, normally they do it on a train. Here they're doing it on a plane, I think. And Josh Hartnett has to kill everybody, just about. Just looks like an excuse to do wacky stunts in a plane, quite frankly. $2 million. Feels like a streaming movie. JC, I saw it on the big screen a few years back too. Completely different experience seeing it big. Yeah, it's a good flick. Especially seeing the opening shots with the droogs sitting in the milk barn and the camera pulling back. Or yeah, I think they're pulling back or they're going in. I don't remember. Number 8, dropping from 5, Until Dawn. This is another video game movie. A video game that was based on a bunch of movies that became a mildly popular video game, and then they turned it back into a movie. I hear they're turning it into a new video game. And they'll just keep doing that until the audience gets sucked into a black hole of repetitiveness. So 2 million in its third week. So that's just about done. The Amateur drops from 6 to 9. 1.1 million. This looked okay. Again, it feels like a streaming movie. The King of Kings is still in the top 10 at 10 from Angel Studios. 680,000. Starting to drop in its 5th week. Number 11, Warfare, dropping from 8. I hear good things, but it's not my kind of movie. 500,000, basically. Number 12 is Friendship. Is this that comedy with Paul Rudd? I think it is. Yep. I can't decide if I like this or not. Suburban dad Craig falls hard for his charismatic new neighbor as Craig attempts to make adult male friend. And Craig's attempt to make an adult male friend threatened to ruin both of their lives. Yeah, like he meets like the coolest guy in his neighborhood, and at first he doesn't want to be his friend, but then he's like super into being his friend because he thinks he's the coolest guy. But then Paul Rudd just is like, yeah, I don't want to hang out with you anymore. And then it goes off the rails. Indie Phantom, Fight or Flight is Bullet Train on a plane. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Bullet Train looked okay too, but I kind of just, it's not necessary. Like, it's not it could, I'd watch those movies if they were on a giant list of movies. Like Xfinity used to have a giant list of movies nobody ever wanted to watch, and then once in a while you'd be able to pick one that was kind of watchable. That's how I would watch one of those movies. It would have to be the biggest list of loser movies ever, and that my best alternatives would be those two movies. And then I'd watch them and be like, okay, this was free. Friendship looks like it could be funny, but I'm a little wary of it. Paul Rudd's doing a thing. Paul Rudd hasn't been doing well in his movies. I kind of want it to do well because I want comedies to do well again, but I don't think it's, I mean, $451,000. That's not very good. How many theaters was it in? Oh, it was only in 6 theaters. So maybe it'll pick up next week. Disney's Snow White, they actually put back in theaters on Mother's Day. Because apparently Disney hates your mother and people and humanity. Good luck. $335,000. Did anyone actually think this through? Oh, let's put Snow White back in the theaters for Mother's Day. I mean, that appears to have worked about as well as calling Thunderbolts the new Avengers. Aren't it? Disney? More like Dumney. Am I right? Captain America Brave New World, $78,000. Still in its 13th week. Give it up. I mean, are you just keeping this in theaters so people have a place to go to sleep? What's the deal here? Tall Tales opened in 46 theaters to $66,000. And it looks like some kind of cartoon. Fabled English record producer Mark Pritchard, luminary songwriter Tom York, and groundbreaking visual artist Jonathan Zawada present Tall Tales, a debut collaborative visual and audio cinema experience, a decade in the making. Landscapes of synth pop, prog, dub, 70s synth, Joe Meek, Ivor Cutler, Library, Kraut, and classic warp. Tall Tales sounds like musicians meeting in the hinterland. So, music videos, I guess? Didn't seem like a movie experience. Hey, you want to go see Tall Tales? I guess if you're going to get totally baked out of your mind, that would be a movie to go see. JC, I know Tom York from Radiohead. 'Cause he's a creep. He's a winner. What the hell is he doing with this movie? He don't belong here. Yeah, I guess if you're going to get totally baked out of your mind, you could go see this. What else is it for? Who wants to go see music videos at a movie theater? Pay $14 to sit there. I knew when I was reading that synopsis, like they're trying to tell you it's like the greatest thing ever, and it's just gonna be music and images, I guess. Let's see, Drop, still in theaters, in its 5th week, $65,000. The Wedding Banquet, I think it's one of 2 gay wedding movies that came out recently, $57K. The Legend of Ochi looked terrible, about a magical creature represented by a puppet. William Dafoe's in it. $54,000. Caught by the Tides. Oh, this is a foreign film. An enduring but fragile love story shared by, holy crap, Quao and Bin, set in China from the early 2000s to the present day. Caught up in each other, Quao and Bin enjoyed all that the city had to offer, singing and dancing, until one day, Bin finds himself wanting to try his luck in a bigger place than Datong. He left without any notice. Sometime later, Quao decides to go on a journey to look for him. Okay. And the communists shoot them both at the end, I assume. The Friend is that Bill Murray movie, $23,000. Pavements, $22,000. Another music movie. When Fall is Coming, $12,000. ADA, My Mother the Architect. It's in one theater. The hell is this? Made $11,594. Pioneering Israeli architect Ada Karmi Melamed is an extraordinary woman. In her documentary, Ada, My Mother the Architect, award-winning filmmaker Yael Melamed, Ada's daughter and former architect herself, explores the unique mother-daughter bond as well as the profound tensions between career, home, and motherhood. Sounds like an IFC movie. And then the last movie is Vulcanizadora. I think I said that correctly. $81 million. Oof. That is not a good box office. Last week, like 142. Oof. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, last week, Thunderbolts did 74. And this week it does 33. Sinners went from 33 to 21. That's pretty good. It's really got staying power, this Sinners movie. So. But that's it. Not a good week. They released all this stuff, but it didn't do nothing. Last week it was like, everybody's coming back to the movies. This week it's like, nope. F you, movies. We're not coming back to nothing. I gotta say, that Havoc movie, that was the best movie of this week for me. All right. Let's check the trades over at Fandom Pulse. What's going on? Indie Phantom, what is coming up? Oh, you want to do that? We could do that. Let's see. Coming soon, IMDb. Coming soon, coming soon. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. That's not what it is. Where is it? Okay, let's try this. Upcoming releases. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, here we go. Indie Phantom, movies are back to slumber. JC, you heard the new Kanye song, Tony? Yes, I've heard the new Kanye song. Indie Phantom, Havoc seems like it should have been in cinemas. Oh yeah, that would be great to see on the big screen. Show Me Your Glory. I don't know what that is. That's May 13th. The Lost Princess, The Lost Locket, May 15th. The 16th, which is next week. Final Destination Bloodlines, which looks slightly better than the normal Final Destination stuff, but I never thought that was good. Hurry Up Tomorrow looks confusing and dumb. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rise of Leo, I guess. Magic Farm, that doesn't look great. The Loot, I don't know what this is. Henry and Angel Henderson discover a treasure with a letter promising millions from dealer Mary. Billy attempts to steal it, leading the brothers on a quest to protect their newfound fortune. Okay. Magic Farm. Yeah, this is like it's like a wacky comedy that feels like kind of like The Office in tone. The Crypto Beyond. Action Adventure in Crypto. Hurry up! I've got the Bitcoin! Run! Run! May 17th, I Was Honey Boo Boo. Don't care. 90s Babies. And then finally, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Thank God. Lilo and Stitch. That's probably going to do super, super well. I think. I mean, I'm not a Lilo and Stitch fan, but it seems to have... It seems like they're going to do, number one, a faithful adaptation of it. And number two, there's just too many people who love that movie. They're just going to go see it. Indie Phantom, Final Destination getting a lot of buzz. Ideal for TikTok gen. And the series has been away for a bit. That's true. LeMay, poor Honey Boo Boo. Her mom used up all her money for drugs. Ooh. It's not good. The Last Rodeo with Neil McDonough. Sister Midnight. That is a foreign comedy. I'm not sure how that could possibly do well here. Trail of Vengeance, which is a Western. And May 30th, Karate Kid Legends comes out. That'll probably do okay. Bring Her Back. It's a horror movie. Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox. This is based on a short film. I did a trailer thing on this. And it looks like it could be fun. Danny Trejo's in it as, you know, the guy Danny Trejo plays in every movie. But basically it's about a time traveler and his wacky adventures. And then Jane Austen Wrecked My Life. I like the title. I don't know. There's nothing here like screaming to me, I got to see that. Zebek's Demise. Holy, 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 everybody. Ha ha ha. How did you know to say that, Zebek's demise? In fact, I'm going to have a short video. I did a short video today. Speaking of the Holy, Holy, Holy at Mount Holly, New Jersey, I did a short video today on the Shin Curtis cabin because I went up there to shoot this segment for this local TV show. And then tomorrow I'll post the one for the Holy, 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 which I also did a short video for. Walked all the way up the mount. Holy crap. Ardent, it wasn't that far of a walk, but I forgot my phone, had to go back to the car. And then we shot the segment, and I wanted to do my segment, and then I forgot and got halfway down, and I had to go back up. Ardent, if you want to see Danny Trejo not playing the same guy, check out Fanboys, where he plays the chief. So much fun. Oh, okay. Ardent says, Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Zebek. So, yeah, that's what's coming up in May. It looks fine. I mean, but none of these movies really look like anything that you can't wait a couple of weeks and it'll be on streaming. So, you know, unless they want to lower the cost of movies, make the experience better, and why are you going to the theater? It just doesn't make any sense. I'd rather sit here, watch it on the screen in front of me, pause it, go to the bathroom, get a sandwich, come back, do something for 2 hours, watch the rest of it later. Zebek's Demise, Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I saw the short. Oh, okay, cool. Ardent at LeMay. And the worst part was those drugs weren't Ozempic. Oh, no. Oh, no. Didn't both my shorts air? I didn't post the second short yet. Did you see the short on the Holy, Holy, Holy already? How could that one have gone up? I didn't post it yet. Or at least I probably didn't. I did one before. I actually went there this time. I had never been to the Holy, Holy, Holy. Yeah, so it you know, it's a meh. This is like a meh spring. Not really gonna get into cool stuff until June, I guess. I mean, here you go. You got the John Wick ballerina movie. That'll probably do okay. The Life of Chuck is another Stephen King thing they're doing. Again, a lot of people loving that. Zebek's Demise, I saw the cabin video. Ardent, I saw a Holy, Holy, Holy short notification earlier. I have it on my watch for later in the week. LeMay, yeah. Ardent, oh, the cabin vid. I saw that. Thank you. Yeah, the Phoenician Scheme, I'm kind of excited about seeing that because that's a new Wes Anderson film. And that looks pretty funny. The Ritual will be Al Pacino in a horror movie, so that will definitely be funny. How to Train Your Dragon will somehow make money, but should not. It should not make money. The Unholy Trinity looks... It's a Pierce Bronson, Samuel L. Jackson Western. That looks okay. Oh, 28 Years Later. That'll do. That'll be probably the big movie of the summer, early summer. Indie Phantom King is back on screen. The monkey was him too. Yeah. So you got the monkey, The Life of Chuck, and The Long Walk. Ardent, I would be commenting on the shorts, but why T-Mobile is broken for comments on shorts. It usually doesn't give me the option. Indie Phantom, I can deal with Wes Anderson. My fave is still Bottle Rocket, which was great. Yeah, I think 28 Years Later is probably the one everybody's gunning for. It doesn't look It does. It looks pretty cool. It looks a lot like Crossed, which is an online comic book that's completely bonkers by Garth Ennis. But the plot of one of the issues of Crossed, and it's weird how they do the comics on this one site, but look it up if you get the chance. But the premise of Crossed is sort of similar to 28 Days Later. This disease runs rampant, and it gives you a rash on your face that looks like a cross, number one. And number two, it completely makes the victim unhinged from reality and morality. So anybody who gets it just becomes completely homicidal and crazy. So they just start killing people at random, biting in the flesh, tearing each other's throats out. So if you got it, you got to run. If you don't have it, you run. If you do have it, you just start killing everybody. It's crazy. So it's sort of like a zombie movie, but it's not. But the setup in 28 Days Later is almost exactly the same setup as one of the Crossed stories, which takes place on an island just off the coast of England. I guess it's England. And the characters that they go to shore and they're trying to salvage things, but they have to be wary of the Crossed, and they have to kill them if they come across them, or else they have to run. And then, of course, eventually the Crossed discover they have a whole encampment on this island, and they think it's defendable, but once the Crossed get wind of it, they all just start coming at them. And that's exactly what the movie looks like 28 years later. Indie Phantom, I keep forgetting about 28 years later. Feel like the teaser came out 28 years ago. Yeah. JC, Cross is super edgy boy stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's very much that. There was that era of comics like Preacher and, all that era of Vertigo where the edgy boy stuff was coming out on a regular monthly basis. I was reading it all. And, people would just get killed in brutal ways, and Garth Ennis was just writing all these crazy stories. And I think, who writes Crossed? Is it Garth Ennis? It might be. Yeah, Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis. It's one of those Avatar Press books. JC, Garth Ennis did Preacher too. Yep. I loved Preacher. I thought it was fun. But let's get into some Fandom Pulse articles. Fandom Pulse. In-game studios deleting outraged comments of gamers after canceling VTuber Kirsch. I don't know who that is. So, not sure why they're canceling people. Still, could it be the woke right? Trump fires Obama-era Librarian of Congress, Carla Hayden, citing DEI and inappropriate books in front of children. Good. I look forward to more firings from Trump. I love that he fires people. It's great. Especially, people who do this kind of stuff. Doctor Who actress Millie Gibson vents frustration at woke criticism. Just watch it and get over it. No. Not to watch your stupid show. Your stupid... Forget the woke, man. That show's like turbo gay. Ardent. Kirsch, I found her through Spoon from TLE among the based YouTubers. Oh. JC, I tried getting into Preacher. I read about half of it. Very 90s. Might have liked it better if I read it when I was 18 instead of when I was 30. Yeah, and it actually kind of just meanders after a time. Like it sort of wears out its welcome after with what's his face, the vampire character, and you know, it starts super strong, but it doesn't end strong at all because the plot is such a weird heaven and hell thing that kind of doesn't make any sense, but it just seemed to be Garth trying to do one more outrageous thing after the next. Ardent, Millie Gibson called the new Doctor Who pure and beautiful, which made me say, that's a weird way to say degenerate and foul. Ardent, Preacher's show was kind of like that. Petered out. Yeah, I watched some of it. It was kind of close to the comic, but never quite got there. Indie Phantom, Turbo Woke is coincidental. The name of Pedro Pascal's fishing boat. Oh. JC, I got through the part with the evil Pope thing. Felt like it was kind of in a lull after that. I remember that story, yeah. Yeah, it just... I don't think he had a way to end it. You know, that's a weird thing with comics. You like, when it's a hit, it's kind of like the company doesn't want it to ever end, and if you want to keep making your money, you know, you don't want to end it, but it really should end. You know, especially a Vertigo comic like Preacher, that needed an ending. That wasn't like regular superhero characters doing their thing in different situations. It was like it should have been a tighter story, and it just kind of, it felt like it was going somewhere a lot of the time, and then it kind of didn't. So I feel like he had endings in mind, and then would sort of go, well, it's not time to end it yet, and he'd bypass those endings and just continue. But yeah, the turbo gay Doctor Who is just, it's beyond, man. I've never seen a show so thoroughly destroyed, and I would. Doctor Who's more destroyed than Star Trek, Star Wars, any of this stuff. I've never seen a character so thoroughly obliterated than the Doctor Who character, and it's such a shame to me. I used to like the show. Now I just would say no. But interestingly enough, there's a guy in the UK, and he's somehow recreating the lost episodes of the first Doctor. A lot had been lost for whatever reason. I guess he used the scripts and some kind of AI. Indie Phantom started the Seth Rogen Preacher and didn't finish. I've been watching The Studio with a friend. It's okay, but feels like a show that needed to be made 20 years ago. Nobody cares about Hollywoke mogul. Yeah, that's the vibe I got from it too, just looking at it. I mean, I'm glad Catherine Hahn's back in a comedy. That's where she belongs, but... And I'm sort of glad Seth Rogen got back in the comedy, because that's where he belongs too, but... You know... And they're not really going to go for the comedy jugular in that show. I don't think. They might get close to it, but they won't really go for it. Like, for that show to really work and be funny, they would have to, like, burn bridges, and they're just not going to do that. Ardent, was it Doomcock recently who said Star Trek could be saved with a quick timeline shenanigan? I think it would be easier with Trek than Wars or Who. Yeah, I mean, and you could do it with Doctor Who too, but they'll never do it with Doctor Who. Because, I mean, I don't know if Disney's going to end up owning it. They had money in it, but I don't think they owned it. So I think the BBC still owns it, and I don't think they would sell it, but who knows? But as long as the UK government is super communist, ain't no way that's getting fixed. Star Trek, yeah, I think Star Trek could be fixed easier than Star Wars. Star Wars right now is so burned from all the just sheer volume of lackluster product. you'd be hard pressed to get anyone back until you can just sort of hit the reset button, recast the Luke, Leia, and Han, and then do like an adventure show again, or a series of adventure movies. I would do it as a show if you recasted everybody, but again, they're not going to do that. With Star Trek, I mean, a lot of the stuff's been disavowed already. You could do another timeline cleanse thing, but I don't even know if it's worth doing that. I think really they should just set aside Star Wars, and really the Orville, which is weird. That's another one I just go, why? What are you doing? It's like you're trying to save Star Trek by not doing Star Trek. Like, just do something original, Just do something that's totally nothing like Star Trek, nothing like Firefly, nothing like Star Wars, nothing like the Black Hole, nothing like anything that's gone before. Just start over. JC, I think most of the second Doctor's run was taped over at the BBC. I think the audio, I think you mean audio, still exists for a lot of it. Might be using the audio, maybe. Indie Phantom, they did have a funny DEI episode that is edgier than expected, but still rather soft. JC, they need to erase the last 2 or 3 Doctors. Say it was really the Master the whole time or something. Well, my pitch would be to really go back to, I think where the Doctor actually went wrong was after they licensed it to Fox. See, they licensed it to Fox after Sylvester McCoy had been the Doctor. He was the guy, he was in Lord of the Rings. You probably remember him if you saw him. And then they did this terrible TV movie that went nowhere. And they kept, to their credit, they kept that Doctor in the history. And then that's when they revived the series and brought it into the modern age. And it got good for a while with Peter Capaldi and the other guys. But Peter Capaldi was not the next one after that. I forget who. I forget the guy's name, but he was good. But I think those guys, you could erase those guys. Because they, they weren't... The thing that was charming about the Doctor Who stuff was that the show had a lot of heart. Like, it didn't have any effects. When they made the show back in the 70s, they had no budget for it. So they were running around the parking lots behind the BBC with alien costumes that were homemade and actors, holding out their arm, and then later they were superimposing a beam, and it looked like hell, but they tried to make up for it in the story, and sometimes they really succeeded. So you could get into it even though it looked like you shot it for $10. And they need to get back to that. The stuff that happened after Fox, they had big budgets for. They had way too many effects, and it was dark and moody, and it didn't have the same heart as the original show. I would like to see them. My pitch would be the Doctor is Sylvester McCoy, and that every Doctor after him was a clone. It was a long, elaborate plot to save his planet, which is called Gallifrey, and then so he set the clone off on his own. And that's the other Doctors that you saw. But he secretly saved Gallifrey, because that was always a plot in the show. And then he's been sitting on that planet ever since. But now he's been exposed because he regenerated. And then you start with the new Doctor. And you could start from there and sort of just wash out. You could call the other Doctor Who's, well, they existed, but they're just clones of him, and they don't really count. Indie Phantom, the Orville is still around? I had no interest. I want to say yes. I thought it got picked up by somebody. Like, it went off Fox and then ended up somewhere else. I don't know. The problem with it was Seth MacFarlane trying to be funny with it, but he wouldn't do like full bore Family Guy funny. It was just sort of amusing. And he has this weird lead character he's divorced, and then like his ex-wife is working in the crew with him, and just I don't know. I just thought it was stupid. The episode that pissed me off. I watched the first season and I said, I'm going to give this a chance. Maybe it'll get better. And the first episode of the second season starts with an alien character telling the captain that he has to go pee, and that part of his culture is they only pee like once a year or something, and it's a big ceremony, and he has to go back to his home planet to pee or something. It was the dumbest thing ever, and I've never been so... I felt my intelligence was being insulted by that show. I guess he was going for a joke, but I just thought, this is stupid. This is just dumb. So I was just out after that. Ardent at Indie Phantom. Orville wasn't bad, Tony. Christopher Eccleston was the first new Doctor. He played the big bad in the second Thor movie. Right. That was his name. Yeah, I would erase him, though, because I felt he was like too dark for the Doctor. JC, I think it went wrong with Peter Capaldi. He didn't work as the Doctor at all. Take it back to Matt Stone Doctor. I would take it back to Sylvester McCoy, the hat, the scarf, and the sort of like doddering old coot that he kind of was, but like secretly smart kind of thing. Ardent at JC, Capaldi's Doctor had potential but was hamstrung by atrocious writing. JC, most of the alien planets were just English rock quarries. Ardent, did Sylvester McCoy play in Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit? I thought he was Radagast, the brown in the Hobbit flicks. Yes, that's who he was, and I think he was in like one scene in The Lord of the Rings, right? JC at Ardent, he was just the wrong vibe for the Doctor. Angry, mean Doctor never works. I agree. Ardent at JC, LOL, Blake 7 was like that. JC at Ardent, I mean, that's a completely different show, not nearly as popular. Indie Phantom, Seth MacFarlane is tiresome to me. Yeah, I mean, like, he's gotten tiresome, I would say. His heyday was like really Johnny Bravo days. I think he worked on that, an early Family Guy, but I don't know, maybe stretched too thin. I did like A Million Ways to Die in the West. I thought it was really great. I thought that was a funny movie. And the first Ted movie's okay. I hear the second one's like almost unwatchable. I watched part of it. I couldn't really get into it. Ardent at JEC, yeah, was talking about the rock quarry thing. LOL, AI generated Peter Falk for the first AI Doctor Who. Mr. Master, sir, if I could ask you just one more question before you get in your TARDIS there. You know, the missus and I. JC, Seth's peak was early Family Guy. Yeah, I agree. That first season's really got a story, and it's funny. And then slowly, like by the second or third season, the story just starts to unravel, and it becomes like, totally bonkers. And for maybe the second and third season, it's still pretty good, but by the fourth season, so many crazy things are happening. It's like, what happened to these characters? Indie Phantom, Jesus, I forgot Peter Jackson did those 3 really long mid-Hobbit films that had little to do with the Hobbit. Man, there was even a TED series for 5 minutes. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And you know what is actually a pretty good show, although I haven't watched it in years, but American Dad was, I would say, it was better than Family Guy, because it had more of that balance of story and comedy that Family Guy just lost after a while. That made like Family Guy like made no sense after a while. And also like there was that horrific 2-part episode with Trump, which pissed me off so bad I just don't watch Family Guy anymore. That's when I quit Family Guy. I was like, this is stupid. This is dumb. And he makes out like Justin Trudeau as the great guy and Donald Trump as being like the jokes weren't even funny. Like JC, first 2 seasons of Family Guy before they canceled it and brought it back was huge. Everyone had the DVDs of that show. Yeah. Former Bud Light spokesman and trans activist Dylan Mulvaney now hawking Versace's women's collection. I think every woman should stop buying it. I mean, that's the only appropriate response to this, but whatever. Imagine being in these meetings. Oh, who are we gonna get? How about Dylan Mulvaney? Oh, the trans woman? Yes, that should help us sell women's clothing. Maybe men will buy it too. You mean trans women? Oh, sorry, yes. Indie Phantom, go woke and croak. Yeah. Yeah, that's what Razor says. It's get broke, go woke, then croak. With your business, we're talking about. JEC. Yeah, American Dad was better, more character driven, more consistent. Yeah. Yeah, even when they kind of went off the rails, like they did this one weird episode where they, oh gosh, it was like it was like the coming of the Antichrist, and it was like a post-apocalyptic universe. It was so hilarious because like it was Stan he was trying to kill the Antichrist, and Roger was in it, but he wasn't really in it all that much. He was trying to get off of Earth before it was like completely destroyed by the Antichrist. So he has this like sidekick alien. He's forcing him to fix his like spaceship, which he's ignored for like how many seasons. It was funny. And then it just went back to normal the next week. All right, so that's it. Former Amazon and Disney executive affirms that Hollywood has contempt for the audience. Oh, that's an old one. That's super old. All right. Moving on to Variety. Thunderbolts strikes 33 million in second weekend. Okay. See, this is the spin. Ticket sales declined by 55% from its 74 million debut, making it a far better hold than recent Marvel adventures. That was a low effing bar you're trying to promote, but okay. Let's see. Industry and Baby Reindeer stars Marissa Albella and Jessica Gunning among winners, and as honors spread wide at the BAFTA TV Awards. That's for, I guess that's UK Awards, right? Walter Goggins was on SNL. Don't care. So don't care about SNL anymore. Joel Patrikis and his deadly bummer trip comedy Vulcan Isadora, and only approaching indie filmmaking with a band mentality. All right, let's see. Is that what this is? Vulcan Isadora. Deadly bummer trip comedy. I don't understand what that is. Indie Phantom, low bar and zero competition. Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise says he was cast in Rain Man after his sister forced him to go up to Dustin Hoffman at a restaurant. As I was leaving, he said, "I want to make a movie with you." Maybe. I mean, that's one of his best roles, I think. He's really good in that one. Tucker and Dale versus Evil director calls David Zaslav the slayer of all cinema for putting the final nail in the coffin for T&D spin-off series. Just canceled all production. So there was a spin-off series? Or they canceled it? I don't understand. Let me see here. That's the original tale, Tucker and Dale. For director Eli Craig, developing a follow-up to his 2010 cult classic Tucker and Dale vs. Evil has not been easy. He's made many attempts at developing a sequel, but every version, for one reason or another, has failed to make it to the big screen. I don't see how you make a sequel to that movie. Part of the comedy in that movie is those college kids are dying in horrible accidents, but Tucker and Dale kind of just get blamed. And I don't think you could do that again without just doing the same damn movie. So, yeah, I mean, it was a funny movie. I enjoyed it, but I don't think you'd do a sequel to that movie unless you do something totally different. Indie Phantom. Fantastic Four is apparently back in reshoots. I saw that. I was waiting to see a headline here. That is not a good sign. They're in reshoots now? What are they, trying to take out the Thunderbolts so they could be out of the Doomsday? That is a terrible sign if they're in reshoots. The movie's coming out in a couple of months. Right? It's coming out in July. Indie Phantom. Tucker and Dale, same director as Clown in a Cornfield. Oh, well, maybe it's worth seeing then. But I don't think Clown in a Cornfield's a comedy, really, but like this to me was a comedy. It was fun. But it was a one-shot, really. Like, the only way to make this movie work is you have to use the conceit of people are dying and someone's getting blamed who didn't actually kill them. So the only way I could see you could work it is if you reversed it and, like, Tucker, Dale, and Dale's girlfriend from the first movie, I don't know, maybe they go somewhere other than the countryside and, like, they're blaming other people for deaths. Like, you know, you reverse it. But I don't know. I don't think it could work. I think it's a one-shot movie. Let's see. Tom Cruise says he suggested Stanley Kubrick cast Nicole Kidman in Eyes Wide Shut. Obviously, she's a great actress. It's obvious to who? Not obvious to me. Indie Phantom. The latest reshoots I remember were Days of Thunder that added something with just about 2 weeks prior to opening, and that was 1990. Yeah, I mean, that seems really... I mean, how can you spend so much money on a movie and not get it right? It just is beyond. It's effing beyond that they spend the kind of insane money that they do and they make a terrible or even a mid movie. Like, I suspect that Thunderbolts is probably just mid. It's not even bad. It's just, meh. Like, there's no excuse for it. You watch Havoc. It's so entertaining just to watch. I didn't even care about the plot. I was just watching the fight scenes. They're so entertaining. And just all these characters trying to kill each other. Like, Marvel's not half that entertaining now. Not even half. like it should be. It should be. I mean, you could still do the kind of crazy action that they did in Havoc without the blood, right? That would be cool for a comic book film. Just a, fisticuffs, punching dudes through buildings, that kind of thing. It's just no excuse for it not to be fun. And the Fantastic Four already looks like a snooze fest. I mean, at least Thunderbolts looked like it had a little action in it. It just looked like Florence Pugh, who is just sleepwalking through the whole damn thing. David Harbour is not funny. He's not funny at all. It's like he's like a guy who keeps pitching funny stuff and nobody laughs at it, but they decide to include him anyway. He's not funny as the Guardian. Like, what are you doing? Yakov Smirnoff material? It's 2025, dude. It's 2025. And that wasn't his decision, but that's what it comes off as. Oh, I am Guardian. I am fat superhero with accent. And two characters from a movie that basically failed. Two characters from a movie that basically failed, and they weren't even the main character. Just nuts that they spend that kind of money on a movie and it fails. And then they got to reshoot it. They're reshooting things. 2 weeks. What do they possibly have to reshoot? What they should do is go back and erase Pedro Pascal's mustache. That's the first thing they should have done. But they're not doing that because, I don't know. The rumor is something like, I guess he's, I think you guys told me that. So I guess he's like a diversity hire, but kind of passes for him. It doesn't make any sense. He's not even going to be the main character in the movie. It's going to be Sue Storm bossing everybody around. And who wants to see another girl boss movie? God dang it. Havoc, the one downside of Havoc, I'll say, they do kind of have a girl boss in it. But she's at least evil, so the big bad is a woman, and her assistant is a woman, but at least everybody's getting killed, so there's that. Indie Phantom, erase Pedro completely, and I might watch. Feel like it was related to the Silver Surfer backlash. Yeah, and once you swapped out the Silver Surfer for his wife or girlfriend or whoever she's supposed to be, it was done. It was over. I mean, no fans that I know of the Fantastic Four are going to see it with a female Silver Surfer. They're just not going to see it. It just flies right into the face of the whole thing. You might as well call it the Fantastic Five and put like another character in it that you made up. And, you might as well just completely change the whole thing. Make all the characters black and female and gay and call it the Fantastic Lesbians or something. Go ahead. I mean, at that point, who is this movie even for? If it's not for comic fans, why'd you even shoot it? Why even do it? Oh, we got IPs. Oh, yeah. What was the purpose of those IPs again? Was it just to have words that people know? Or was it to have an audience built into this effing thing? You have an audience built in unless you spend every waking moment pissing them off and pissing right in their face and telling them, no, this is better. They don't want better. Your better is not better. They don't want that. They want what actually happened in the comic, so to speak. Indie Phantom, those FX were really bad too. The one shot of stretchy Pedro was like, LOL. Yeah, it's going to be Ant-Man Quadramania all over again. And that was a character I liked in the MCU. I liked Paul Rudd's character in that. Oh, we're going to give you his daughter who's super woke, way better than him. What the F for? I don't know who she is. You just throwing new characters at me and like, no, you like this one now. Well, then why don't you just make a movie about her if you love that character so much? Oh, but yeah, you won't watch it. Yeah. I didn't pay for your stupid Quadramania movie or whatever the F it was called. Yeah, and the Silver Surfer wasn't better either. There's side by side comparisons of the movie from 20 years ago, and that looks better than the Silver Surfer they have today. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse to spend $200 million and have a movie that looks worse than a movie from 20 years ago. It's nuts. Indie Phantom. Oh yeah, the woke daughter hitting up protest. Stupid. Marvel Comics Jonathan Hickman says X-Men's Krakoan Age was the most disappointing creative experience because he couldn't finish the story. Okay. What was the story? Everybody becomes a communist? Indie Phantom. Silver Surfer FX is whack as F. It's dark. It looks like nothing. It looks like a muddled mess. It took him this long to get Galactus right. But he's the wrong size. So, I don't know. Let's see. More on the BAFTA. Don't care. More on Tom Cruise. It's all the same headlines. Cher calls for relocation of LA zoo elephants to sanctuary. They have been through hell. Cher's going to save the elephants, everybody. JC, the story was he killed all the characters and replaced them with communist plant clones. Okay. Was that really the story? I wouldn't be surprised. Jim Shooter once had an idea, back in his day, to kill all the Marvel characters and start the universe over. Oh, good news, everybody. Amber Heard had kids. So it's going to be Amber Heard's for the next generation, I guess. What else? Indie Phantom. Man, I really wanted to hear anything from Cher. Let's see. John Legend on Kanye West's descent. It's sad, sometimes shocking to see where he is now. JC, I mean, they had a way to bring people back from the dead through some plant-based cloning thing. Yeah, once you do that, you might as well just pack it up. Oh, death has no meaning. Oh, then we can never die. Oh, boring. Mm-hmm. Godzilla X Kong sequel gets new title and teaser. It starts production. JC, gotta pass on those borderline personality disorder genes into the next generation. Well, Amber Heard was still the hottest I've ever seen anyone on screen when she first started doing movies. Oh my God. I could totally see why Johnny Depp was shacking up with her. Donnie Yen and Rita Sayayama to star in John Wick spinoff Kane. Do not care. JC, I'm not going to lie. That new Kanye song isn't bad. Best song he's done since Jail Off the Donda. Sticks and Hammer did an analysis of it. He really liked the song. He says, I've been playing it all day. Ardent, how many blind martial artist roles before Donnie Yen gets typecast? Former collaborator Dave McKeon comments on Neil Gaiman scandals. I missed this one. Does he throw him under the bus? The thing that does affect me about this whole sad story is, I haven't spoken to Neil in 10 years. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. We were good friends for a while, and I thought I knew him well. Maybe he's changed over the years, or maybe I didn't really know him. That really upset me. Can only imagine, dude. I'd say the same damn thing if it happened to me. There was an artist, I'm not sure, but I think he got into trouble with the law, and I won't say who or why. But I never got the full story. I heard a rumor, but I never asked him about it. But we never worked again anyway. So Ardent, I mean, are they going to cast him in a remake of Blind Fury? JC, Amber Heard is mid-crazy chick, probably F's your soul out of your penis. Who is talking about Gaiman? Who is this talking about Gaiman? This is Dave McKeon. He was one of the guys. He worked on books for him. He was an artist. Is an artist. And Gaiman, he wrote this series called Cages, which I never really got into. And McKeon did the art. He was like a big deal for a while, but he was one of those artists, like, his art looked very, a lot of deconstruction going on. I never really got it. I think he did a few covers for Sandman back in the day. Jennifer Lawrence says she didn't understand her own film despite sleeping with the director. Well, okay. She starred in 2017's Mother, directed by Darren Aronofsky. Lawrence took on the lead role of a psychological horror that left both the audience and actress herself puzzled. I'm going to be honest. Well, I was sleeping with the director, so I had the cliff notes. So 5 or 4? That's pretty funny. JC, Mike Allred just put out a trailer for a new documentary about his work. Neil is all over. Like, read the room. Ooh. JC, I like the art for Cages. It loses the plot halfway through. McKeon did all the Sandman covers. He did every one of them? Oh. Well, I knew he at least did some of them. I didn't think he did all of them, though. Weren't a few of them different? Let's see what's going on in Deadline. Friendship skyrockets to the top of limited opening of 2025. Oh, okay. Limited opening, yeah. I guess. It's a pretty low amount of money, but okay. How late producer Jill Messick first saw the mega potential of a Minecraft movie through the eyes of her son. I mean, it's like one of the biggest games in the world, isn't it? JC, McKeon did Arkham Asylum with Grant Morrison. That was a big book. I remember that. Michelle Yeoh to star in action film The Surgeon for John Wick outfit Thunder Road. Okay. Jackie Chan plans to do his own stunts until he retires, which is never. Yeah, but come on, he can't still do certain stunts. He's getting up there. He's going to hurt himself. He used to hurt himself big time back in the day. Although they may have exaggerated that to sell the movie. I don't know. Terry Crews hopes Everybody Still Hates Chris has longevity of Family Guy, and The Simpsons? I don't know, maybe. JC, Dave McCann was kind of DC's answers to Bill Sienkiewicz. Over at Cosmic Book News, Matt Reeves is still directing the Batman 2. James Gunn shuts down rumors. The rumor is he had some medical issues and got jammed up, but I'm glad James Gunn still has him on the project. I mean, I think the first movie was pretty good. DC EU flop becomes surprise home entertainment winner, says WB. Well, they're a reliable source for information talking about their own movie. I'm sure that's the case 100%. Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum gets December 2027 release. I think this is a mistake, but some people will go see it. Godzilla -1 director returns for new Godzilla ride coming summer 2025. All right. I'll go see that movie. That was a good movie. At the Wrap, more Thunderbolts. JC, another Lord of the Rings movie. Sabu, high-flying, hardcore pro wrestling pioneer, dies at 60. Seems young, said the 59-year-old. Of course, Trump admin reached a trade deal with China. So, Monday's going to be very interesting. I don't know why the Wrap is covering that, though, although it does impact the movie industry. Transportation Secretary tells NBC he'll scale back Newark flights just as another outage happens. Man, I can't believe, apparently the Newark airport was using a computer system that still used floppy disk. JC, RIP Sabu, he just did a match last week. Oh. That's rough. JC probably overdosed on painkillers. That Park Place. More on Doctor Who. Don't care. Opinion. Trump didn't cause the Hollywood global box office collapse. Hollywood did. Yeah, who thought Trump caused it? I mean, there's no way Trump caused the global box office collapse. Disneyland Resort is quietly fixing the infamous curved Eiffel Tower scene in Soarin' at Disney California Adventure. Okay. Not sure why you need to be quiet about a park repair, but sure. And Nightcrawler Alan Cumming may have just spoiled Avengers Doomsday. Ooh, let's spoil the movie. JC. Yeah, Sabu was jumping into barbed wire 2 weeks ago. Oh my god. Let's see how Alan Cumming... Oh, it's behind a paywall. Guys. Put things behind a paywall. Let's see if it comes up if I do this. Oh my god. Okay, bus. Oh, good. Somebody archived it. Thank you, whoever paid for this. Ah, it didn't work. I just archived that same stupid page. All right, screw it. Over at Breitbart, Jasmine Crockett, Democrats supporting safest white boy prior to 2028 election. No, for real. She is terrible and a phony, I believe. All right, Here's entertainment. Bill Maher. Democrats went from men can have babies to we like terrorists. Yes. Yes, they did, Bill. And that's why they're going to lose everything unless guys in the woke right, as Lindsay's calling it, screw everything up by doing something super racist before the midterms. JC, oh no, now I have to wait until Avengers Doomsday comes out in the theaters and I don't watch it now. Wait, did I read that right? Oh no, now I have to wait until Avengers Doomsday comes out in theaters and I don't watch it now. Yeah, that was better. I like my second take. Go with that. But my ex-boss, Bill Maher, trying to help the Democrats, not that anyone is listening to him. I mean, first you would have to clear out all the rubbish in the DNC. You would have to get rid of AOC, Ilhan Omar. You just have to get rid of them. And not kill them. I just, stop giving them money. Make sure they lose their next election. Or kick them out of your party. They can kick them right out of the party if they wanted to. JC, should have put a comma in before now. But they're not doing that. I mean, Jasmine Crockett is an utter disgrace. If anything, she feels like an RNC plant to make the Democrats look even stupider somehow. She should just be quietly pulled aside and said, stop doing this. But I think she's just doing her own thing in an attempt to build for the future. Because I think they know it's likely the Democrats will lose 2028. And JC, whole generation of lefties' brains are just broken. No saving them. No, I don't think so either. So, it's just going to be weird to watch the Democratic Party unravel in real time. Really unravel. We're not at the point that I predicted a while back that the Democrats would just completely unravel as a party. The next step has to be they lose the midterms. But they could come roaring back if the Republicans really blow it. I kind of think the momentum is so behind the Republicans, they kind of can't possibly blow it. But it'll take forever for the Democrats to just die as a party. They'll just have to wait till all the neoliberals die off, and then they'll have no money and no clout. And then even then, they'll still have enough stupid people in the House that they'll just be there making a bunch of noise. What I'd like to see is someone like, not Bill Maher because he's not serious, but someone with his similar attitude start a new party and take a bunch of the saner Democrats with them, who's ever left that's even remotely sane. But you'll notice, though, the Democrats have become the party of women. It's really not left versus right. It looks to me more like men versus women. And women have taken over the Democratic Party, and the few men they have, like David Hogg, don't seem very manly at all. Like James Carville is probably the last manly guy in their damn organization, if you could even call it that. So a lot of their politicians are female, at least the notable ones: Amy Klobuchar, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Jasmine Crockett. I mean, these people are stupid. So, but they have to get to the point where they're marginal, and then we can ignore them finally. Disney CFO praises Trump's focus on reshoring the U.S. film industry. Yeah, I'm not big on this. I don't think it's going to help anything. JC should have put a comma in before now. Whole generation of lefties. I read that one. Whole generation of lefties' brains are broken, no saving them. Ardent. David Hogg, the epitome, the paragon of masculinity. You don't think he's manly? I mean, I could pick my teeth with his forearm, but still. JC Carvel is more ghouly than manly. Yeah, but at least he's like, I don't even know why he's still doing it, quite frankly. Like, I guess they're still paying him something. But getting to Trump's tariffs, I don't think they're really going to help the movie industry. Definitely won't help the quality. JC, I don't know how you would enforce it. Most of the stuff filmed is for streaming. Well, the idea would be, see, at first that's what I said, but what they're going to do is they want the production here. They don't care really, about where it takes place or whatever. They just want the production here. So they want to force the production here by tariffing any movie that's shot outside the United States. So, for instance, a lot of what they shoot in the UK for Disney, is shot over there. A lot of Doomsday was going to be shoot there. They put Doomsday on hold because of this tariff, because they're trying to figure out, well, where are we going to shoot this thing? Now we can't shoot it in the UK or else we're going to get tariffed. So they probably don't want to shoot it in California because even though they have the facilities, the taxes there are so outrageous, it's going to, shoot up the cost. Now, Newsom is scrambling to try to give him a tax credit or whatever, but his state is so broken. Like, who the hell even wants to go to California? So the idea would be force all the studios to come back to the United States and then try to get some of the states to give them, some kind of tax-free ride or whatever. But it all comes back to one thing. California is an S-hole. And they tax people. They put in all these regulations and extra things that nobody wants or needs or cares about. And it's all to get more money out of the studios. And they're not stupid, so they go overseas where they don't have to do that. The UK was one of those places. The UK is becoming that place where you could do things on the cheap because the place is falling apart. Ardent. Dylan Mulvaney is David Hogg in drag until I see proof otherwise. JC. But how would he collect the tariffs on something that's filmed and transferred and shown digitally? The tariff would be on the entire movie, right? So you'd have to pay if you shot the movie overseas, right? So if they shoot any of the Avengers Doomsday in the UK, Trump's going to tariff the movie. The whole movie. It's 100% tariff. So you're going to have to pay double the fees? Or double whatever you paid? I guess double the taxes? Or would it be whatever it cost and you have to pay that again to the government? I mean, I guess that would mean the tariff. But, yeah, the studios aren't going to stand for that. But, JC, but how do you put a value on intellectual property? Well, if the movie cost $80 million, then it's $80 million. So you got to pay another $80 million just to bring the movie here. Ardent, would it be a percentage of the budget? Yeah, I think that's what it would be. It would be, the movie cost $80 million, you would pay the government $80 million. No, it wouldn't be the revenue. Nope. It would be the cost of doing it. So the idea is that you either capitulate and shoot the thing in the United States, or you give us $80 million, which just goes right into the government's pocket, and you're just wasting money at that point. But where it gets down to the nitty gritty, if a movie studio was brash enough to say, "Oh, we'll just pay you," and then they reported, underreported their budget, which they often overreport the budget, I think. So why couldn't they just change gears and then suddenly underreport it? But we'll see. JC, it doesn't really make sense. I think he's just making big noise to scare Hollywood into quit with the DEI stuff or whatever. No, what I think he's doing is he's trying to bring production back. So he's saying to Hollywood, I don't want you shooting movies overseas, or you're going to pay us money. And then, so the response will be, Hollywood will come in, they'll have a big discussion, they'll say, well, listen, don't tariff us. Instead, we'll promise to shoot, I don't know, half the movie in the United States or something like that. He'll get some sort of concession. And maybe the DEI stuff, I don't know. I don't think Trump cares about the DEI stuff. He can't micromanage what's in the movie. What he could do is the DOJ could potentially, I guess, go after them because they made the Oscar DEI stuff mandatory to be in the Oscars. But I think that would require a civil lawsuit. JC, how would you get production back is with tax breaks, not tax them more. Yeah, but the problem is they're all state level taxes. So there are plenty of red states. They give you tax breaks. There's some that give you ones that are comparable to Canada's, and Canada's will give you a lot too, as long as you hire Canadians. But, maybe that's the move then. Like, Gavin Newsom could slash the taxes to nothing for the movies. But then, they'd start shooting everything here, and, it would be great, actually. It would be great for the state if they did that. If Gavin Newsom came out and said, we're not going to tax your movies at all now. You can do whatever you want. You won't have to pay a dime. They would come flooding back into the state. There'd be so much money he wouldn't know what to do with. He would make that money on other taxes from people just being in California buying stuff. But he's a retard when it comes to economics, because he's a Democrat, and most Democrats are terrible at economics. The only guy who was even moderately close at being okay about economics was Bill Clinton. Kind of, but not even really. But, yeah, I think there should be no taxes, really. Especially now. I mean, things are so dire in the state of California. Arden, Trump's thing is made in America, getting jobs and production back to the States. But this is a strange way to do it. Some films can't be shot in the U.S. Not now. You can shoot anything in the U.S. And if you're shooting a movie that takes place in India, you can shoot it in the U.S. You just make it look like India. Indie Phantom. This is definitely the art of the deal, and sounds like Hollywood is moving abroad. It was. But now they have to think twice. Yeah, I think it's a big ask. He's just trying to get a commitment from them to do some amount of work here. So they'll come back to the table, show him a bunch of numbers and cry poor like they always do. And then Trump will say, okay, I won't tariff you as long as you do this, this, and this. Or I'll only tariff you 10% if you go overseas or something. So, like, if you could save 25% by going overseas and Trump only tariffs you 10%, you might still do it. Ardent, is all those Hallmark saccharine garbage women movies made in BC? Maybe. But a lot of stuff's just shot overseas because it's cheaper to do it there. That Havoc movie is supposed to take place in America, but it was actually shot in Wales. It's crazy. I'm watching the movie going, what city is this in? And then I looked it up afterwards, and it said Wales, and I'm like, Wales? I never would have guessed Wales, but they used to shoot the X-Files in like Vancouver and just change all the street signs and then put them all back up. You know, if it was supposed to be New York or Washington, D.C. But now they could do almost anything. If they put up a green screen in the background, they could just replace that with any background. You never know the difference. JC, yeah, Canada, you get back like 30 cents or every dollar you spend with tax credits. On top of the exchange rate, it's like you spent 40 cents for every dollar you spent. Yeah, it's even better than that, too, in some cases, because we figured out that we could get back. We had a proposal to shoot a movie in Canada, and we had the points if, you know, we got the funding. And I think the budget of the movie was $4 million, something like that. This was a while ago. But we figured we could get from Canada about 3/4 of it back in a rebate. So it would really end up costing us about $1 million. But we would need the $4 million financing in place to get the rebate. That's the thing, because then you have to pay it and then you have to get the rebate. So we would have made out like bandits if we could have financed the movie, but we would have needed about 4 or 5 million. And then, you know, the plan was we were going to try to distribute it in Canada first and in the States later, and hope that, you know, we catch on, and we would only need to make $1 million back ultimately. And you can actually market your own film. It's tough. We talked about Disney last week. There's some shenanigans there, so getting into theaters now is pretty tough, but it's not impossible. I mean, you could literally go to I had a friend, he had one of the movies I worked on. He just went to the theater and said, "Hey, I got this movie. Can we show it on one of the screens?" And they showed it for like a month. And they just split the money. Ardent, is that why LOL used San Francisco to stand for India? Same mess on the streets. LOL, Cardiff or Swansea? All the Stargate shows were shot here, maybe not universe. One of the alien races was named after Kelowna, BC. My BC ex-girlfriend was one step removed from Amanda Tapping. Indie Phantom, only city more woke than Vancouver is Toronto or Ottawa. Ardent, yes, I have more exes than that chick from Scott Pilgrim. Still talk to the BC one. JC, at a certain point, it sounds like Mel Brooks producers. Well, yeah, Mel in the producers, he oversold the play. He sold more shares and promised, you know, big return, but the play had to fail for that scheme to work, and of course it didn't. Jesu, Vancouver is more woke than Toronto. Ardent, LOL, JC. So, but the Teamsters, of course, love it because they're like, oh, we get money. Ardent, BC is really just California North. I don't think any of them are going to go through, but we shall see. I mean, look at China. They're announcing that tomorrow. That's the toughest one. I mean, if he's got that one, it's over. The trade wars are done. The moment China signs the deal, everybody else is going to be like, oh my God, China signed? They're screwed. Because China can outproduce anybody, really, and just about anything. They're all going to fold. Once China's in, it's done. But again, we're the biggest economy, so they were all going to fold anyway because they want their customers back. In fact, today I just went to the store and was shocked to see the price of chicken had finally gone down to a normal price. I was again, ooh, I could buy chicken. JC, Vancouver, they've given entire streets over to homeless drug addicts. That is a shame. I was just watching, Paul Joseph Watson has a video on Manchester in England, and boy, it looks a wreck. I've never seen, it's a hellscape, really. Indie Phantom heard China was cutting a deal. Yep, they are. They are. It's being announced tomorrow. Also, Trump announced that he created an EO. It was called a favored nations contract for pharmaceuticals. So the idea is now if another country buys drugs at a lower price, the United States will only pay that price for that drug, whatever it is. So it's called favored nations, meaning that we will always gravitate towards the cheapest price, which should be the default, except in rare instances where, you know, you might be getting, for instance, your drugs from China. You might want to rethink the Chinese drug manufacturing. Arnett, while sections of the city really, JEC, whole sections of the city really, JEC, JC, Trump just wanted the tariffs other countries put on America stuff taken off. Yeah, some of them won't come off because some of those countries cannot survive. Their industries cannot survive, and they have to be slowly removed. Like the countries' economies have to adjust. So even if he gets it, you know, some of those countries down to half, like if you got a third world country that can't survive without an influx of cash, they may ease it off of them over a series of years. But yeah, it's going to make eventually everything cheaper here. And although I just ordered a bunch of Pineys books, and man, it wasn't cheap. It was like $400, and I was like, oh man, it's a big outlay for me. But I've been selling books, so I had to get them. Oh, Father's viral Disney video exposes company fear families can no longer afford parks. So this guy took his family of, it was a family of 5, I guess it was 3 kids, and a one-day trip to the park cost them $1,400. That's outrageous. $1,400. JC, Chinese people would rather buy American cars than Chinese cars, I'm sure. Yeah, but then, like, our American cars really aren't made here either. I mean, they're, like, assembled. Some of them are assembled here. But yeah, $1,400 for 3 kids and 2 adults, that's pretty crazy. For one day at Disney World, you're talking like, it's just an amusement park. You're talking food and the entrance to get into the place. That's it. 5 people, it shouldn't cost $1,400. I mean, okay, the tickets are like over $100 a piece. Okay, so you got about $500. I think they're higher than that. Say you got about $700. Now you got like $700 in food and merchandise, I guess. Ardent, I have a Chevy Equinox built in Mexico. JC, $1,400 should be your whole vacation. Yeah. Yeah, like, and who the hell, I mean, in Jersey, in South Jersey, we go to the shore. And $1,400, so, oh, that'll buy a lot at the shore. That's like $1,400. That'll be your rent, say, for a week at somebody's shore house. You know, maybe you blow like $1,000 for the week. Actually, it's more than that. Depends on how close you want to be to the beach. But let's say you blow like $1,000, and then $400 should be enough for the week for food and various knickknacks. If you go to Wildwood, that'll be enough for a month. Wildwood. We call it Childwood. They have a lot of motels there, and a lot of 50-ish looking motels. And Ardent, the prices at the Star Wars section of the one park are insane. One lightsaber can cost up to $300 or more. Yeah, for essentially a toy you might break on the way home. You probably had to fly down there. Or you're going to throw it away. Oh, no, I got to pee. Hold on. All right, John, you're on. All right, entertain the folks, John. Oh my goodness. Joan, did you sing Kanye's song? Do not sing Kanye's song. I told you that. Ardent, Joan, no words. Storebang is here. I got a pee too. Be right back. I didn't know you were here, bro. Yeah, so when I went to Disney World in the 80s, the coolest thing was at the Contemporary. They have like a man-made lake, and they had little one-man boats you could ride around with. So me and my family, we each got our own little boat, and we were driving around the water on these boats. It was really cool. Yeah, back then, $1,400. My God, I don't even know if the whole trip cost us $1,400 in the '80s. Probably about $2,000, something like that. Yeah. Back then, me and my brother were very excited because the Contemporary had the largest arcade I had ever seen when arcades were a thing. JC, I didn't know Joan had a cousin. I knew about her views about mid-century Germans already, though. Well, yes, of course. Joan's very well known for that. Bad dog. Bad dog. Yeah, so that was crazy. And then actor John Cleese suggests suspending Stephen Miller by the neck, so that wasn't nice. Come here, John. You can come over here. Sit on my leg for a while. We began the stream this way, and now we'll end it this way. No, don't do the salute, Joan. I told you, don't do the salute, okay? Yeah, so John Cleese made that tweet and then deleted it, so now everybody's on him for that. John Cleese just won't. He's kind of like Bill Maher in that even though he said a couple of base things about like London being taken over by immigrants, he is a liberal, purely liberal. Ardent, Joan does have some very based attitudes about gender roles. Yes, she does. Yeah, so Cleese has TDS so bad. Just so bad. It's a shame. Actor Liev Schreiber says most profound moment was when his son asked us to change her pronouns. Really? That's the moment in your life you want to celebrate, huh? That's the moment. Weinstein lawyer, ex-model used Hollywood producer to further career. Weinstein's so cooked, but he's got money to do this, I guess. Fight it. I think all he wants to do is keep fighting it in court so he could stay in hotels in New York while they're fighting it in court. Like, I don't think he thinks he'll get out, but Ardent, and today Sabretooth died. Cinema United CEO praises Trump's push to make U.S. film industry great again. Of course he would. Diddy's sex trafficking trial, jury selection delayed and surprise decision over cold feet fear. Apparently, one of the witnesses at the Diddy trial has disappeared. Who would have thunk it? But they can't even get a hold of her lawyer. So people are saying, "Oh, it's a payoff, or some kind of payoff." I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know if there's any proof of that. Ardent, I reported on that today. Cops arrest actress Maggie Gyllenhaal's daughter at anti-Israel protest at Columbia University. Ardent, Diddy just turned down a plea deal last week. I can't imagine he'll get out of this, but he does have a lot of money. Daily Show audience groans at Disney star's child sex abuse jokes during conclave. Catholic cardinals huge fans of Diddy's work. Well, I mean, the Daily Show is a show that's really kind of lost its way. I mean, that's not the worst joke in terms of like targeting, but like they've got certain people they'll go after and other people they just do not go after. Ardent, oof. I mean, I get it. The Catholic Church has a lot to answer for, but it has a history going back to the friggin' Roman Empire. So, you know, there's some history there. And yes, some of that is recent history, but they've tried to clean up some of it. I'm not saying they're even doing a good job doing that, but at some point you got to let off the gas on the Catholic Church for a while, and make a joke about something else. You can't say every single person is involved in that. It just gets tiresome after a while. And that was the last thing. That was my last thing, and it's 9:12. It's done a little early today, John, for a change. Well, what else we got? Let's check over at the center. Do a little news action. Yeah, here's the announcement for the Trump EO to cut prescription drug prices by 30 to 80%. So you guys are all in Canada, so I don't know what's going to happen to you, because he says that favored nations thing will raise the prices slightly in other countries and lower them here. So first group of 49 white South African leaves for U.S. after Trump offered them refuge status. Well, that's good. Or refugee status. Yeah, because they were not in a good place there. I mean, they literally have the federal government of the South African nation going after, basing their policies on race. That is no bueno. Ardent, having discovered her recent based statements about the Crusades, I have a movie pitch. Sydney Sweeney, not in a bikini, but maybe some clingy Middle Eastern stuff, as a lady of England captured and held for ransom by Muslim invaders of a Christian stronghold. A heroic knight, Tom Hardy, and his brother Lord Henry Cavill are tasked to lead a small group of Templars and Hospitallers to rescue her. That sounds like it could be fun. I don't know if they would greenlight it, but it sounds fun. Qatar offered Trump a jumbo jet to serve as Air Force One. I don't see anything wrong with that because the president gets gifts from other countries all the time. But I would say you better check that thing. Like, check it stem to stern. Make sure it's legit. Ardent, Angel Studios, maybe? Maybe. That seems kind of big budget for them, but especially those names you dropped. Oh, Hamas is going to release the last American hostage, so that's good. Looks like Trump is making some deals left and right this week. Oh, I read this part of a headline like this in News Blast, but I didn't quite understand it, but this makes it clear. Jasmine Crockett admits Dems are abandoning their diversity push, rallying behind a white male for 2028. That's gotta be Gavin Newsom, right? How could it not be Gavin Newsom? Ardent, oh, and I had an idea for a King Ralph-style movie starring Danny McBride as the new American Pope. I titled it Pope Ricky. I love it. Oh yeah, let me see a draft of that. Danny McBride, that's another guy. I want to see him in more movies. More comedies, obviously. I would absolutely see Pope Ricky. I think the current Pope should have went with Pope Bob, not Pope Leo the 14th. Joe Rogan says he's sticking with Jesus. Questions Big Bang Theory. Oh, Rogan found God. I didn't think he was a big God guy, but I guess he is. I'm telling you, everybody's going to be, that's going to be the new thing. Right, Joan? Ardent, I am working on it with Grok for simplicity, but I think I posted an AI poster the other day. We'll do it again. Man found dead in kangaroo wallaby enclosure. Reportedly had history of playing rough with animals. All right. I'm going to show you, you roo and you wallaby. Who's boss now? Crikey. Crikey, I'm dead. Oh my God, I'll have to talk about this in the Piney podcast. New Jersey home suddenly explodes, killing 2 people. Destruction all caught on doorbell cameras. Oh my God, it was in Washington Township? Jesus, that's not far from me. All right, let's see this. House explodes in Washington Township. Jesus. Hold on, I gotta watch this house explode. All right. No, wait. Arden posted his link. Hold on. I'll pause that for a second. Let's look at Arden's poster. Oh, there it is. Pope Ricky. That looks pretty good. That's AI, huh? That looks pretty good. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad, aren't it? All right, getting back to houses. Houses exploding. All right, you going to show the footage or not? Come on. Jesus, that house is gone, gone, gone. Show me the footage. Oh, come on. It's not on here. How can you not have it? The bodies of a man and woman. Oh, here it is. Maybe this is it. There's the house fire behind that dude. Why wouldn't you show the explosion? I bet it's somewhere. Ardent. Yeah, I had the devil of a time getting the AI to produce a close to accurate Danny McBride. Gas line explosion. There was a place in Calgary where I lived in Alberta that went up. They got footage of it from a nearby gas station. Eradicated. Damn. Well, that sucks. I will have more on that in the Piney podcast. Let's see. Trump admin fires top U.S. copyright official days after terminating a Librarian of Congress. All right. I think I found your explosion. Oh, Ardit, you're on the ball tonight. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. Oh, here we go. Who's that dude? That's what's his name? Michael Fahan or Strahan? Look at, is that how you show the explosion? Show the damn explosion. Okay, there's the aftermath. It's like they're cutting to it. Yeah, it's like they cut to it as it's already happening, but I guess that's the best that it does. That is no bueno. Thank you for that, Ardent. Pope Ricky. Hold on. Gotta get back. Oh, wrong button. And there I am. Ardent. They don't all look the same, Tony. That's Jones' shtick. Hey. Ardent. That said, he did look a lot like Strahan. Let's see. Trump's weaponization czar hints at international targets, except that GOP killed his D.C. U.S. attorney nomination. It worked out great. Self-proclaimed New Jersey pastor. This is another headline for Piney Podcast. Pastor wife forced church members into slave labor and sex for a decade while threatening God's wrath. Holy crap, in New Jersey? This was Orange, New Jersey. I didn't think there was anybody left in the church in Orange, New Jersey, much less that. Oh, another thing that happened this week was Biden went on The View. I don't know if you guys saw that train wreck. Can you imagine going on The View? Like, instead of just disappearing from public life and making people forget about you, nope, not Joe Biden. He's going to continue to insist that Trump's the bad guy and he's somehow great. Ardent, he. Why? I don't know. It's like he's gonna die. Like Joe Biden is like half dead. He's half dead. He's literally dying before our eyes. How much time does he have left? He's gonna waste it trying to tell people he was awesome. Like impossible, impossible. He's done nothing good for this country, in my opinion. Should have never been elected. He's half out of his mind. He should be home seeing his grandkids, resting, sleeping. Instead, they're trot him out on The View. Pathetic. Argentina's top court finds 80 boxes of bad guy from Germany materials in its basement. Jesus. It was confiscated by Argentinian authorities during the big war, recently discovered by the Supreme Court's basement. Weird. So did they arrest all those guys and shoot them as they came into Argentina? Or did they keep their memorabilia, let's say, in order to blackmail them into being good boys in Argentina, maybe? New Mexico boys ages 7 and 9 seen in disturbing drone video in armed standoff with police and were not arrested. Jesus. That is doing crime at an 8th grade level. Ardent, in Argentina you say, odd how that happened, and I can't get a look at some of it? LOL, for research purposes, of course. I don't think they show it. I think it's just a bunch of boxes. This is Yahoo News. So, yeah, there it is. For what it's worth. Yeah, nothing much to see there. Ardent, I mean in person, but yeah, I'm mostly just kidding. Should Alberta become the 51st state? Well, I'll let you Canucks weigh in on that. I say, why not? They seem pretty based, although compared to our Republicans, they're probably more like Democrats and would end up being a blue state, but we could keep them as a territory for years and years before we let them in. Could like make sure they're based before we actually turn them into a real state. Ardent, would be interesting to see if there was anything to do with rockets, etc. in there. Ardent, no, Canada should be the next territory. Don't let us vote. Let's see. Stop your car. Cheerleader removes barrier. Plows into cop on way to work. Oh my god. What the hell's wrong with this chick? How do you know she's a cheerleader? Alright. Driver took down barriers and drove recklessly into the crowd.
I apologize for the inconvenience. I'll be happy to call you a taxi.
There has to be another way. I'm not taking a taxi all the way to Virginia. I work in Virginia.
I understand. And I apologize for the inconvenience. But
She's just going to drive into the crowd, isn't she? Ardent, territory works because those of us who want out will go, and those who stay can be a big blue bozo state. Yeah. Ardent, that's going to be a donut operator video, I bet.
unfortunately,
I don't have to come back, but
stop. You cannot move this. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, I gotta go to work. What do you want me to do? Like, I have to go to work.
You cannot get out. I can't help you with that. Please do not disturb this area.
I might have to.
Ma'am.
Shit.
I'm gonna run through the roadblock. It's 2 George Lincoln 4626. Stop! Stop your car! Stop!
Excuse me,
Stop!
excuse me, y'all.
10, there's a lady running down the street now in the BMW. Stop!
Oh, jeez. That is just the kind of place I was this weekend. And, yeah, that would be like jail. Ardent, take a different route? Yeah, I mean, you couldn't go around the market? The cop couldn't let you back up and turn around? Doesn't make any sense. Women, constant supervision. Yeah, imagine thinking like, well, I'll just go ahead and drive through, and he can't stop me because I'm in a car, and there won't be any consequences of that, because I'll just keep complaining, and obviously, since I'm a woman, they'll just eventually give up and give me what I want. Like, let's see. Baseless lawsuit alleging Trump admin deporting U.S. citizen child dropped by ACLU. Shocker. Shocker that the ACLU is suing for no damn good reason. God, that's an organization that plummeted in credibility. I mean, just absolutely plummeted in my view. Back in the 70s and 80s, that was considered, oh, you support the ACLU? Yeah, you got to support the ACLU. They help people. They help freedom of speech and do the hard things that nobody wants to do. Now, like, they couldn't be more woke, in my opinion. Worthless, I say. Ardent, LOL, down with the patriarchy. Works so well, the matriarchy became a problem. Well, that goes back to the Democratic Party. I mean, it's become a party of women. They had the CNN guys showed the polls for Trump approvals, right? And in almost every metric, Trump ranks in the positive, except for white women, where he's negative 38%. Like, even amongst Democrats, he's like plus 6% or whatever. And then Democrat males, he's a little higher. And then, like, white women, minus 38. Like, white women absolutely hate Trump with a burning passion of 1,000 suns. Like, they've all gotten together and they've decided, we're going to hate Trump. Yes. Yes, we are. I hate Trump more. No, I hate Trump more. And they cannot help themselves. It's so irrational at this point. Ardent, Trump's approval is over 50% generally and like 60% with Hispanics. Oh, yeah, it's very high. It's very high, and especially with men. Because Trump wants to do what men do. They want to protect. So he wants to close the border. He wants to impose law and order. He wants safety in the country again. Those are all good things. But there is a huge group of women who would rather pretend everything's fine and virtue signal with a bunch of policies that don't make any sense. And even though those policies won't work, they'll just keep saying they are working. It's just not their fault they're not working. Ardent, that is an incredibly accurate depiction of a liberal white woman. Thank you. Yeah, so that's it for Dissenter. Ardent, today I learned that Khalistani immigrants, Sikhs, are telling Indian immigrants to leave their land, Vancouver Island. Interesting. I thought the Sikhs were kind of based. Are they or are they not? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people get so bent out of shape with the idea of deporting someone who's come into your country illegally. Like, that's the very basis of having a border. You can't cross it unless you had permission to cross it. Unless there's unusual circumstances. Like somebody's trying to kill you and you ran across the border to escape. Like that's why the South Africans got refugee status, because they're actually trying to kill them. Ardent, no, not really. They're just another "we will overrun you" bunch. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It's like you got to get control of the border so no one can come across unless you say, okay, you can come across, or here's a paper, fill this out and we'll consider it. Like something like that. It's insane. It's insane. It's finally stopped here, but I don't know how well the border crossings are going in, say, Canada, because you could probably sneak into this country by going to Canada, flying to Canada, and then walking across that way. But I kind of think now the message has been sent. Don't come, because you can get deported. Once you see other people get deported, oh, they've been in this country 20 years and they're being deported. A guy who's snuck into this country 6 months ago has got to be like, ooh, I got to get out of here. I think the self-deporting policy is a good one, because that way they can leave the country and still be on like the good list for potential re-entry. So, Ardent, I feel bad for the Afrikaners. No one should have to leave their people's homeland to be safe. Yeah, that is true. I had a friend in high school. He was an Afrikaner. Him and his whole family. They were nice. All right, so what have we learned today? Well, we've learned about immigration. We've learned that tariffs on movies probably aren't going to make the movies any better, but they might make them slightly more profitable for America. We learned the MCU is probably doomed with the Fantastic Four, and Thunderbolts probably isn't going to make its money back. That's about it, really. We learned that the box office was like a dud this week. I mean, it's just a dud. It's not even really much to talk about in movie news. It's funny. Last week was chock full of articles and stuff to talk about. This week, there's nothing. It's like the whole movie industry went back to sleep. Even this week, doing Hollywoke Hot Take, they were all shorter videos this week. I didn't even do one yesterday, but through the rest of the week. Ardent, we've learned that if Canada becomes a territory, I suddenly sound like Don Adams. We learned that if Canada becomes a territory, there will be a flood of base Canadians heading south and turning the South red again. And loving it. Ardent, because it's warm down there. That's true. We are like your Florida. We have a lot of people in South Jersey go to Wildwood. A lot of Canadians come to Wildwood. It's like your Florida here. So we got a huge population of Canadian, a lot of Canadian license plates in Wildwood. Ardent, missed it by that much. The all-time best was Don Adams was so great with a pratfall. I watched this one episode, and it just killed me. I was actually watching it in a doctor's office, and I laughed. You know how a doctor's office is pretty quiet, but I burst out laughing because it was so funny. So, 86 is coming down this flight of stairs in a castle, and it's, a spiral staircase, but it's like on a movie set. It's from like some leftover movie set that they used to use for like Get Smart or whatever. And so he's coming down the spiral staircase, and it's supposed to be this intense scene where they're going downstairs to do something important. But Max takes the staircase too sharp, and he just falls off. he turns into the circle a little too soon, and like 8 steps from the top, he just falls right off and disappears. It's so great. Ardent, I need to go find some Get Smart. Oh, it's the best. It's just the best show. My other favorite bit, I mean, that was Buck Henry, who's one of the greatest, funniest guys who ever lived. But and Mel Brooks. So Max is being stalked by chaos agents. He was in control, and the rival agency was Chaos, and he's sitting down, and there was always a beautiful woman in it. Sometimes it was 99 or another girl, and she says something to him like, Max, everybody's trying to kill you. Aren't you worried? Well, 99, don't worry. As a control agent, I have nerves of steel. I never get bothered. You can't let this get to you. He goes on and on about how, like, brave he is. And then the doorbell rings, and Max just stands up and unloads his entire gun clip into the door. And then he goes, "Who is it?" And then of course it's the chief, and he's like, "Max, it's me." He's like, "Oh, sorry, chief." It's the best. Indie Phantom, didn't see that Get Smart movie. Felt girl boss energy coming from Anne Hathaway, though she is quite hot. Yeah, I mean, there's only one Get Smart. You have to watch the original episodes. You know, they tried, the only Get Smart movie was The Nude Bomb, and it wasn't great. It had some bits in it, but it wasn't great. The show is amazing. You gotta watch the show. It's just one episode after another. It's just hilarious. Arnett, Indie Phantom. Oh, the OG show is far superior. Hathaway is fine, and Barbara Feldon blew her away. Yeah, she was good. She was good. She was supposed to be, you know, they would put her in nice outfits every once in a while. Zebek's Demise. I haven't seen Get Smart in a long time. Oh, man, I used to love that show. I used to watch that and The Monkees because it would be on reruns here, and they would just play it all day. Back in the day of TV. Zebek's Demise. Used to love it as a kid. Oh, it's so great. It's so great. Right, Joan? Right, Little Joan? All right, we're going to wrap it here. Me and Little Joan are going to go do some stuff. Right, Joan? Remember he took you for a nice walk? That was a nice walk. Yeah, you meet your buddy. Met little black dog. That's Joan's friend, Alibaba. Very excited. Arnett, when I was a kid, Get Smart and the 60s Batman would play back to back. Yup, I remember that too. Zebek's Demise, I think we got the same reruns. I used to watch that. I used to watch McHale's Navy. That was a little older, but that was pretty good. Ardent, have a good night, and wash Joan's mouth with soap. She is foul. I fed her hamburger earlier, so she was pretty excited. Right, Joan? Right? You sleeping now? We'll put you back in your bed so you can go to sleep. All right, thanks for tuning in. What's coming up? Oh boy, I got a busy week ahead of me. I'm doing stuff Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But the live stream should be on time, and then Monday. So it's going to be a busy, busy week for me. So I hope you'll tune in. Ardent, no remorse. I want to thank you guys for coming out to the live stream where we do it live. So we will tune in next week, hoping something will drop. Something to drop. You know what? We got to come up with a new theme. I got to pick a theme for next week. Maybe we'll look at some type of movies. I don't know. Let me ruminate on it, and I'll come up with something. And don't forget to watch my next short tomorrow, because that's another one you don't want to miss. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.